Hello and welcome back to Tri-Town Rundown. I hope all of our viewers are having a wonderful day.
Summer is in full swing here in the Tri-Town as citizens join together for magical events.
First, we're going to check out another episode of Connor's Cooking Corner. A local baker joined my co-anchor here for a once-in-a-lifetime muffin extravaganza. Let's check it out.
Hello everyone, and welcome to the third episode of Connor's Cooking Corner. I'm here with a local resident of Rochester, Massachusetts, Karen Caldwell. Nice to have you on, Karen.
Thanks, Connor.
And what are we cooking today, Karen?
Today we are cooking Jordan Marsh blueberry muffins.
Oh, that sounds awesome. So
Yes.
what is our first step?
Well, the first step, as in any baking, is to preheat the oven.
Preheat the oven.
So-
what are we going, 375?
We're going 375.
Sounds good.
All right, excellent. So the next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna start to get our wet ingredients together. So we're gonna
Eggs, and vanilla extract.
eggs, vanilla, and the butter. So we're gonna take some butter. We need a half a cup, and luckily enough, one stick is half a cup. So if you wanna unwrap that, and we're gonna soften it up just a little bit more. It's always good to have it soft enough so that when you're creaming it together with sugar, that it's an easy mix.
Yeah, saves a lot of effort.
All right, pop that in the microwave. It's just a quick soften.
So I'll put it for less than a minute.
So yeah, probably 30 seconds would probably be great. Excellent. So I chose this recipe today because the Jordan Marsh blueberry muffin was actually from the department store Jordan Marsh a long time ago, and as a kid my grandfather used to bring us into Boston, especially around Christmas time, and Jordan Marsh was known for their bakery downstairs, and they used to make these huge muffin top with the huge muffin tops.
I think I've heard of those before.
Well, actually, the Jordan's Furniture store in Stoughton, Avon, they now sell the Jordan Marsh muffins around Christmas time.
Oh, wow.
So you can still get them, it's just you have to wait till Christmas.
Oh, that's a bummer, but it's always good to have.
That's
You think
probably
this should be good?
I think that should be good. Oh,
yeah.
excellent. Perfect. All right. So you're going to dump that into one
Our
of
wet
the
bowl.
metal bowls. Excellent. And we're going to combine it with a cup and a quarter, of sugar. So our sugar is
Grab the
right
sugar.
there. I tend to use organic.
Those are the best.
Yeah.
All organic ingredients.
So we have a cup. And measure it over the bowl just in case. It's important in baking that you use the correct, nice level measurements. Fill that right up. Shake it with it. Yeah. Connor, do you like to bake?
Oh, I love baking. My mom loves baking. She always makes cookies for the holidays and everything.
A little bit more in
yeah.
that we could actually grab a knife if we wanted to and level it off. But that looks pretty
that's
good.
about good.
All right, so there's our cup and a quarter of a cup. Hand that over to you.
So I'm gonna mix this in.
Nope, you need
Sweet.
another. You need
Oh.
a quarter of a cup of sugar
Oh,
to go in with
okay.
that.
All right, I see what you mean there. You can tell the difference in just the regular sugar you get and the organic sugar. It looks a lot more natural and pure.
Yes. I like it. I try to limit the amount of any additives or preservatives
exactly.
in my cooking. All right, excellent. So you're going to take the whisk and whisk that together till it's nice and creamy. Okay, a little bit more. I like it so that there are no lumps.
Yeah, exactly.
That it's nice and
smooth. I dabble in the arts of cooking and baking here and there.
That's good to hear. There are a lot of folks out there that don't cook for themselves,
Yeah,
and
they'd
it's
rather
really,
go get something quick to eat.
It's really not that difficult if you put your mind to it. Awesome.
How's that looking?
That looks great.
All right.
That looks great. Very good. So now we're going to add a teaspoon of vanilla. And I don't know about you, but I'm a fan of vanilla. So
Yeah.
if you go a little heavy-handed with the vanilla, that's
Yeah,
okay.
It's okay. It's okay to put a little extra in there. It won't hurt.
All right.
Ooh, comes out fast.
And you can
Mix
mix
that
that
in.
right in. Sure.
I love the smell of it.
Now that's my favorite.
It makes you want to drink it, but if you drink it, you'd probably get sick.
Yes.
So I would
yeah.
not recommend doing that, folks. Not at all.
All right. We have 2 eggs coming up. Those we're gonna crack.
Mm-hmm.
We can probably crack those individually back into that bowl that the butter was
The
in.
butter?
Yeah, that's fine.
And did you say these are local farmed eggs?
Those are local farm fresh eggs.
Awesome.
I have a friend who has chickens, and she loves to bring over her chicken eggs. So you can crack those individually, and then we'll mix
Into
one
this
into the bowl. It's important to do it aside from what you're baking
Yeah,
and what you're
exactly.
mixing, just in case you get an egg that may not be so good. But that one looks yummy. All right,
My trash can right in here.
beautiful. Nice.
It's important whenever you deal with any raw food to wash your hands right after so you don't contaminate any of the other ingredients. Keep it away from the blueberries here.
I'll add these. I'm going to add these eggs one at a time just to make sure that they get incorporated entirely.
Oh, it's looking nice.
It smells delicious already with that vanilla. Okay. I'll let you finish up whisking there for a second. Put this one in the sink. All right. Those are all of our wet ingredients for now. We do have some milk coming up later, and I'll show you how to add those. Start to work on our dry ingredients.
All right, so we're gonna start with the flour.
We're going to start with the flour. We need 2 cups
2 cups.
of flour. So the
So
big
that's a
measurement. This is the big
So-
cup.
Hang that over there.
All right. Take the spoon out for you. Again, I use an unbleached flour. Any all-purpose flour is fine for this.
Mm-hmm.
If you wanted more of a healthy note even, you could probably use a wheat flour, a whole wheat flour, or even an oatmeal flour would be yummy.
Oh, never heard of oatmeal flour.
A little bit more on
bit
that,
more,
yep.
alright.
And then we'll add another whole cup. Connor, you do a great job measuring.
Thank you.
All
I'm trying to
right.
be precise as possible.
Okay. Let's see. I like these measuring cups. These were given to me by a student. Excellent. All right, to the 2 cups of flour, we are going to add half a teaspoon of salt.
There's the salt over there. So, probably should wipe that
I was going to say you
No,
might
I
want
have
to
to
dry
wipe that
that out. Yeah.
so it's dry and nothing sticks to it.
Now that's a whole teaspoon, so just a half on
Just
the
half.
salt. We also are using salted butter, so we definitely don't want to add any more salt.
So about there again?
That sounds good. That looks good. Okay.
Just a dash.
And 2 teaspoons of baking powder.
Oh.
And that's what's going to make these muffins rise up nicely.
A little less than that. So that's 1. That's 2.
All right. Fantastic. I'm just going to take this for a second, rinse and dry. We're going to use this to sift together those dry ingredients so that they're all mixed together evenly.
All right. It's looking great so far. Remember, if any of you local chefs or any local business owners want to get on the show too, just contact us with the information below and we'll get back to you and try to get you on the show.
And Connor, we can make this recipe available at the end of the show as well.
I will run the recipe along the screen or at the end of the episode so everyone can follow along and make this at home as well.
There we go. So just going to mix up those dry ingredients to sift them together. Make sure that the baking soda,
Yeah, it gets
the
all
baking
mixed in.
powder, and the salt are completely
It's all
mixed
even.
together. Great.
Looks like it should be good. Just make sure.
Excellent. All right. So now we're going to we're going to add our dry ingredients to the wet ingredients, but we're also going to alternate some milk. So we need a half a cup of milk.
Alright, so this is a half cup. So we're going to throw this in after or before you mix it?
We're going to add it to this cup right here so that we can
Pour it while it's doing it?
exactly. So we're going to
Alright, I see
alternate
it.
the combination. So half a cup on here. There we go. All right.
So do you want to mix that in while I pour this in or vice versa?
All right. So how about I'll do, we'll start with a little bit of this. Let's grab that big metal spoon. It'll be easier to,
So we're pouring the
Mix
wet
it.
into the dry?
we're going to pour the wet into the dry, yes. So a little bit and then we'll, yep, you can probably do about half.
Yeah.
We'll mix it and then I'll add some milk.
Alright, so that should be about good. Mix it in.
All right. And we'll grab that we can use that metal spoon.
Oh.
It'll work out
Yeah,
perfect.
probably. There you
Because
go.
it does get to be a little, excellent. And then you can add some of that milk. Okay, and we'll add some more of the wet ingredients. Probably add the rest of that.
My stomach is already growling at the thought of what this is going to be like when they come out.
All right, good. And
And viewers, I've had what she makes before, and she is a professional. She knows what she's doing, so. If you follow along this recipe, you're going to get yourself an A1 product.
and then the rest of that milk can get added in. Excellent. All right. So, like I said, these are blueberry muffins. We've already washed and drained the
We
blueberries.
have them right here, waiting to go in.
Okay, you're gonna take about a half a cup of those. You can eyeball it, Connor. It doesn't have to be exact, but and stick them in this bowl. We're gonna mash them up a little bit to
you
release
don't
some of the
have-
juices.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's so that when you add blueberries to any baked good, like muffins or cakes or anything like that, they sink to the bottom for some reason.
Yeah.
But if you mash them up,
Yeah,
then they
they're
get
like-
incorporated,
yeah,
and
get
you're not going to
incorporated
have
with the
all
mix.
of your blueberries at the bottom.
Very smart.
That all mixed up nice.
The little things that matter when you're baking something.
All right, so
Gives it that.
I'm going to give you the fork and the blueberries, and we're just gonna
Mash them
just
up a little bit?
just a rough mash. They don't have to be pulverized or anything or juicy.
Don't want it.
But just to, like I said, mash them up a little bit to get a little bit of the juices released, and so that they're not gonna sink to the bottoms of those muffin cups.
Oh, the oven's preheated.
The oven
ready
is
to
all
go.
set.
So it's like that a little bit. Or should I mash up a little more?
That looks good. Yep, not bad.
Mash that up.
Slide these over.
So should I pour these in?
Yes, please, and you can. Excellent. Okay. These were nice big blueberries too.
Yeah, I couldn't resist myself. Couldn't grab them.
That's okay.
So are we adding more? Is that-
We're going to add some more blueberries.
Another half
We're
cup?
actually going to add a total of a cup and a half.
Okay, so
But
the
how
two-
about a cup? And then what I usually do is that extra half a cup, I will put a few blueberries on top, just so that it's pretty evident what kind of
Yeah.
muffins they are.
Exactly.
All right. And these you don't have to mash anymore.
All right.
Those are good. All right. These are looking really good,
Yeah.
Connor. Smells good. Like I said, I'm getting hungry. All right. So now we're going to fill up our muffin cups. I think we're
Sounds
good.
good.
We're ready to go. I have
Perfect timing.
12 muffins here. We're going to fill 3/4 to even maybe a little bit more in each cup. The Jordan Marsh blueberry muffins, like I said, have the big muffin
Yeah, the big
tops.
tops,
So
yeah.
we're going to make a full muffin, and I'll start to get those in there. All right, so I just take the spoon and eyeball it. And like I said, I'm going to start with 3/4 full, at least. It really is a simple batter, and it really cooks up nicely. I just remember getting those big white boxes at Jordan Marsh as a kid.
And I know the organic ingredients can sometimes be a little bit more pricey, but it's really worth it in the long run. Your product is just so much healthier for you, and it tastes better as well.
The flavor is there.
Yeah, the flavor's there.
Right. So Connor, what other things do you like to bake?
My mom's big into cookies. She likes baking all kinds of cookies. My favorite cookie she makes is the coconut almond chocolate chip.
Oh, that sounds
It's a very
delicious.
good combo.
Almost like an almond joy
Yeah,
cookie.
almost.
Yum.
She also makes those ones with the Hershey's Kisses in the middle, the peanut butter
Oh,
ones.
I call those the peanut butter blossoms.
Yeah,
I think.
those are good.
All right. So we're going to, like I said, we're going to add a few blueberries to the very tops of these, and then we're going to sprinkle them with a little bit more of that sugar. Because
Yeah, just give it the crust.
exactly,
yeah,
that little
kind of like the
crunchy coating.
Dunkin' Donuts muffins, how they're just coated in sugar at the top. Looks like we have just enough.
I was going to say this yields about a dozen, and they're generous muffins. Perfecto. Okay, you can go back. You can see if there are any that could use a
That one's a
little
little
bit
more.
more.
Yeah, there you go.
Sometimes I'll use a cookie scoop, like a to have accurate, but it's pretty good. You can eyeball. Excellent. All right, I think
looks
that looks
perfect.
good. So why don't you
Pop
add a
those
few extra
blueberries.
blueberries to the top?
So how many each muffin?
Oh, I'm gonna let them be Connor's creative
All right,
muffins
let's
today.
Go with this then.
If you really like blueberries, you add more. Those are really nice big blueberries too.
Yeah, no, this one's a little smaller, but there's already a good amount of blueberries in there, so I don't want to kill them. Just add some few for aesthetics.
It'll be nice. The blueberries will be in season in about another month. The end of this month, beginning of next.
Let's go picking.
There are a lot of local farms around that do have blueberry picking as well. I'm just gonna grab that sugar.
And two more actually. And that looks good to me.
It does. So Connor, I'm gonna just pour a little bit of sugar into this measuring cup.
And sprinkle
I'm
it
not
on
gonna
top.
measure it. I'm just doing it so that it's easier to sprinkle. I'll give that to you for a second. Thank you. And just sprinkle on top because, like you said, we want to make that nice,
that nice crust.
crusty, crunchy topping. That's the nice thing about the organic sugar as well. The grains are just a
Yeah,
little bit bigger.
they're bigger, yeah, so you can notice it.
And they make a little bit of a shine too, which I like.
Mhm.
All right.
Look at that.
A little bit
That is
extra
experience right there.
There we go. A little bit left over. Sprinkle back, double back on some of these that got a little bit
Mhm.
less.
Move down with it, yeah. There you go.
That's what I like about the shininess. You can actually tell if you've missed any or if any have just a little bit less than the others. I'm going to use all that up. All
Are
right.
these ready to go in the
That
oven?
one's going to be very
sugary.
crunchy.
I'll eat that one, yeah.
All right,
So if
into
you could
the.
open the oven for
I
me,
would love
I'll
to.
place it in.
Okay. There we go.
Throw it right on top of there?
I did. I put a cookie sheet there only in case those muffins bubble
Spill over a
up.
little.
At least it won't dirty up the oven.
Good idea.
So those are going to need to bake probably for a good 15 to 20 minutes.
All right,
They're big muffins, and you want to make sure that they're cooked thoroughly.
All right.
So time to clean up.
Mm-hmm. Well, it smells like it's just about time for those muffins to come out of the oven.
Ooh, looking at them, they look golden brown.
Oh yeah, that's perfect. Oh, that sugar adds a nice touch on it, huh?
Those look delicious. Excellent.
And the only step that's left is to take these babies out and put some fresh butter on them. Knead them up.
Yum. I'd let it cool for a second,
Yeah,
Connor.
you don't want to
Otherwise,
touch it. Yeah, I'm tempted, but
Burning
probably end up
fingers.
burning myself. Yeah.
All right. So I hope that this entices a few of those people out there that don't know if they can actually bake some muffins or don't have a ton of baking experience to go out and
Yeah,
dabble a little
experiment
bit
a
in baking. This is a real simple recipe, and I think they'll enjoy it.
Yep, you can. It's not like Iron Chef out here. We're not going to tell you you can't bake anything. You can do what you want to do. You just got to put your mind to it. And that about does it for this episode of Connor's Cooking You. Thank you for joining me, Karen,
Oh,
and
you're
baking
quite
these wonderful
welcome.
muffins.
Excellent.
Again, anyone who would like to be on the show, just contact us with the information below, and we'll do what we can to get you on here. And I'm Connor. Thank you. That was my first time baking in an episode of Connor's Cooking Corner, and I hope you all enjoyed it. The muffins came out delicious.
They sure did. Next, we're going to take a look at another preserved trust here in Mattapoisett. This little trust is located just off the Mattapoisett River, and it's ran by the Tinkham Improvement Association.
Max and I set out to show the beauty of this trust. We explored the bridge, the private swimming hole that local homeowners can go to, the cranberry bogs, and also Tinkham Pond itself. Let's take a look at the footage.
In other news, Marion has hired a new part-time town planner. Gilberto Gil Hilario will begin his duties on July 24th. Patrick's Candy Pantry has received its special permit for the sale of his assorted candy pieces. Residents are looking forward to stopping by. In another touching story in the town of Rochester, local residents rallied to support a family in need after a house fire took half their home. A GoFundMe was created with a goal of $5,000. The goal was reached in a short period of 4 days, raising a sum of $5,670. I wish this family the best as they look to recover.
Also, be sure to come by Mattapoisett Shipyard Park from July 11th to July 16th for many different events included in the Harbor Days Festival.
It should be a great time out there. I'm looking forward to covering these events.
And next, I'm going to take a walk over to the weather station in our studio.
It's gonna rain!
That's all we have for you today. I hope everyone is doing great and enjoying this beautiful summer.
Thank you. And remember to join us next week on Tri-Town Rundown.